first thing that's very consistent, and I think everybody would probably say, what's the biggest problem that you have in Detroit outside of not having any money? And I think people will say safety. Public safety is the #1 thing that we're facing in the city of Detroit. And as I go through my whole budget process, one of the things I've said from day one is without people feeling safe in the city, whether you live there or visit there, you're going to have a problem. And we're very fortunate in the city to have an exceptional young man leading our police department. Absolutely exceptional. My fear is we're going to lose him at some point in time because he's that good. But he can't fix the problem by himself, nor can his department fix the problem by itself. And this is one of the things that, as I look at the day where you are coming together with two different cities, joining forces, joining resources, is the right thing to do. The timing is right. We're forced to do things differently today. And Detroit has to do the same thing. We may be the epicenter of the state of Michigan, but we have an impact on everybody around us. So until Detroit is fixed, it's going to have a negative impact on you. So you are part of the solution. Now, I don't think I need to come to you with my hand out all the time because there are some problems that we need to solve ourselves. But I'm a believer in regions. And as I've had the chance to go around the country and look at other regions and see how people are doing things differently, understanding that we no longer, as a city, we don't have the bully pulpit anymore. So we've got to accept the fact of who we are, not who we were. And so we've got to make friends. I think we've got to open ourselves up and let people know where our warts are and listen, because a lot of the cities that are represented in southeastern Michigan are going through some of the same things we're going through, but doing things in a different way. And so we've got to do things in a different way. A subset of public safety, police, fire, EMS, Homeland Security, would be our lighting system. Because over half of the lights in Detroit are out. You've got a system for 50 years that's had very little investment from a maintenance standpoint. When you start talking technology, it's off the charts for us. I mean, we got things that nobody produces anymore. So you don't even have replacement parts. So, you know, our people don't feel safe because they don't think we've got enough police. They don't feel safe because the city isn't well lit. And those are very, very important. I think the other thing that's very, very important is this budget process we just went through. I had some recommendations to shut down recreation centers, and I refused to do it. A couple of different reasons, not because a lot of my history was around growing up in a rec center, but I now see that our population has aged quite a bit in the city of Detroit, and our seniors use the rec centers even more so than our young people. So I want to make sure that they have a place to go so that they can talk about what it was like, what it's like today, and what their visions are for the future as it relates to our city. Now, we've lost a sizable portion of our population in the city of Detroit, where at one time we were close to 2 million people. We're now just north of 700,000. And with the crisis that we had in the housing market, in real estate over the last several years, a lot of people could no longer afford to stay in the city, stay in their home. We have over 70,000 empty homes in the city of Detroit that have now become havens for some kind of misbehavior. And so we're now demolishing roughly 3,000 a year, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Because as this market keeps doing what it's doing, more and more people, and you got unemployment that's very, very high. People are leaving. People are leaving because they don't feel safe. People are leaving because they think we have an inadequate school system. People are leaving because they can't afford the homes or the taxes that we have in Detroit. There are a lot of different reasons why people are leaving. Now, my job and our job is to give people a reason to stay and to come back. And that's a tough, tough job. But I think we have to do that. Otherwise, we will continuously be a down draw for all the communities around us. A lot of our people that have left Detroit didn't necessarily leave Michigan, but they went into one of the 3 counties around us. So we've got to make sure, once again, there is this attachment for a lot of people who were born in Detroit or educated in Detroit, grew up in Detroit, and had this affiliation with the city that we've got to take advantage of. So we can't do that, once again, by ourselves. We've got to reach out and embrace. And that's what this administration wants to do. The last thing I'll say is that with the population loss, with the housing stock in the condition that it's in and the challenges that we have there, I've put out this plan that says we got to get these 700,000+ people as close together as we possibly can to provide them with the services we're supposed to provide them with. And I know it's difficult. The most difficult challenge I'm going to have is to convince people that I can help you with a better quality of life if you move from a deserted area into an area where there are people. Your safety will be better. I think from a shopping standpoint, I think we can help you. There are a lot of things that we can do as people come together as a community and build neighborhoods again. And I've got people tell me, well, I've been here for 40 years or 50 years. I've been in this home. I'm not leaving. And all I'm saying to people, I don't intend to lie to them. I'm telling them that you're not going to get the same kind of service if you stay where you are, because we don't have the resources. All of the infrastructure and all of these neighborhoods across the city of Detroit cost money. Some of the things that we've done in terms of coming together with an authority. Let's talk about quickly COBO. We came together. When I first came into office, there was going to be this big fight about who's in charge and who owns COBO. It's a regional facility, and everybody should have some say in it. So we were able to come together, Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, and the city of Detroit, put an authority together, and COBO is really starting to come back. And people, for the next 5 years, I mean, we've got all kinds of people interested in having events at COBO. Then the Water and Sewage Department, same thing. Everybody fought about that, who's going to own it, who's going to control it. Once again, we came together as a region, put together the right people, the right structure, and that's working pretty well. The next big challenge is going to be transportation, regional transportation. And I think that's going to work because we have to do that. Most of the jobs are no longer in Detroit, and people need a good public transportation system to get them where the jobs are. And you need some of those people from Detroit for the jobs that you may have in some of our suburban areas. So there is a well-developed plan that has a litany of things we need to do. But I'm a realist, and I don't think we can do all of it and do it well at the same time.